Here we are. More. Ready for more benching.
More benching. I like benching. I mean, it's relaxing and comfortable, and you don't have to do much. Just bench. I mean, it's pretty simple. I think I passed the benching test.
Well, I thought it was a good one because then the activity was to shine your light,
Yep.
and that would make the most difference of anything else you could do. And I thought, I think I can do that.
I think I can do that. Anyway, welcome everybody to Shoud 11 of the benching series. We're here at the Crimson Circle Connection Center in Louisville, Colorado. It's a beautiful day, at least for right now.
For the moment.
Sunny and warm and just beautiful. And we just had a little bit of a bounce just before we started. The fire department showed up. They heard that something was hot over here. Something was sizzling. And it was about 10 minutes before we came on the air here. I happened to be outside, and I'm like, oh, no good will come of this when the fire department shows up. And I'm thinking, of course, one of the Chambro might have set off the fire alarm or something like that, which has been done before. No ideas. It's already been done. But they were just here for their annual inspection, and it's like, this is all too weird.
On a Saturday?
On a Saturday?
Don't they have better things to do?
I think they just saw cars in the parking lot and smelled the good food that we had here and
Yeah.
said, party time, let's show up and pretend
Party
to do
hardy.
an inspection. But anyway, we averted that disaster. I told them we were just about to go on the air for a worldwide webcast.
And they laughed at you.
No. Then I invited him in, and they're like, oh, what's it about? And I said, spiritual psychology. Bye-bye. So it was one of those, getting ready for a shout, getting ready for a workshop or a big event. It's always like crazy right before we start. And, you and I have been doing it for years. We know that it's always crazy, and it's like...
It's always something.
It's always something. But the fire department, who would have figured?
Right.
Anyway,
Yep.
we gave them some food and sent them away. They're actually sitting out there right now.
Are they?
On their computers looking at the website. Hi, guys. Okay, we have a lot to cover today. Let's jump into it. As I mentioned, we're in the Art of Benching Series 11.
We have some out-of-towners,
Oh, yes, we do.
which is almost a miracle these days because it takes an act of God to find a way onto an airplane that'll actually land where it's supposed to with your luggage. So
And if it's not COVID, it's monkey whatever. And if
Don't
it's
even
not
go there.
that, it's the airlines can't manage to buy fuel or find a crew or whatever. What is happening?
everything is weird.
It is.
Everything
Okay.
is weird.
Speaking of weird,
So outside of the U.S., we have, this is wonderful, Bianca from Canada.
Bianca in the back there. Could we get some audience lights? And oh, there we go. Now you know what we have to put up with here.
Almost as bad as getting the mic, right?
Yeah, the lights. Oh.
And also Luc Lesage from Canada.
Oh, we're a lot of Canadians here. Hi, Luke. How you doing? Good. Good.
And from Germany, if I got this right, Melissa, are you here?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, you're right there in the front.
Wonderful.
Yeah, hi.
Thank
Good to see
you.
And where are you from? Munich? No.
No, I'm living in Worcester, but I'm from Colorado.
Oh, you are?
Oh, wow.
That is so weird. Everything's weird today.
But she
All right.
lives in Germany.
But you live in Germany.
Yeah.
Do you speak
Yeah.
German?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Oh.
It's helpful when you live there. Good. All right.
I
Who else?
think I've got it covered, but that's what it was when we signed in. That was who was here. Okay.
Was that it?
Yeah, unless you want out-of-staters.
Sure.
Oh, serious?
Sure.
Okay.
Deserve recognition for the long drive.
Well, what the heck? Who knew? Okay, so Stephanie Bowden. There she is.
see you
Hi,
again.
Stephanie.
And where is she from, Linda?
Tucson, it probably says something else.
Tucson. Okay. It's typical of Chambra. It says one thing on the official list, and they're really living somewhere else. Okay, but Tucson.
I won't say this right, but I know I'll be forgiven. Noctron from Fountain Valley, California. Yes?
Good to see you.
Glad
Yeah.
you're here again.
Yeah. I always love it when
Oh.
people come back.
It's amazing.
It's always nice. Yeah.
And a very familiar friend, Stefan Wyken.
Stefan, good to see you,
Yeah,
Stefan.
From
Good.
Solana Beach,
I
California.
have to say, it's like the ageless Stefan. We've known him for, God, what, 20 years or
Forever.
whatever? You just don't age. What is that? Just follow my steps.
Yeah, don't make
thanks.
him tell you. So we have Mark, and as far as old timers, and I mean people that have been coming here literally forever, that I just can't ever forget. And they're just this holding this beautiful energy. You all know Vince and Carolyn Wayland.
Vincent Carolyn in the back.
And they're, of course, our very local Coloradans. Okay, Marco from Connecticut.
Hey, Marco.
Hey, you gonna dance, Ray? And Anya from Lexington, Kentucky.
Good
Yes.
to see you again.
And Ann Samariva from New Mexico.
Oh, over here. Oh,
Yeah,
good to see
there we
you.
go. There
Hi.
we go.
Good.
Oh, and Cheryl Bernero from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Carol?
And okay, this is reversed. I think that means reversed. So, Deke Agnes from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. That would be you.
Hi.
Nice that you could be here.
Did she say it right? No, never.
This is what I had to look at.
It's Agnes.
Agnes. Okay.
That's what I said.
Okay. Do you have a nickname like Aggie or
Aggie.
Aggie? Okay. Okay, we're going to work at it.
That's what I saw.
Okay, but that's very confusing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And Tracy McBride from Medina, Ohio. Tracy?
Tracy? Calling Tracy. She's
I
probably
no, I screwed up.
in the restroom.
Yeah, Christy Newman. I'm not sure where you're
Kirsty?
from anymore. Oh,
Homeless.
Okay. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Just drove here from PA. I'm going back to NM.
Wow. So homeless and wandering. Okay. Good. Good to see you again.
And Ramundo Seed from Utah. America, guess what?
Good to see you.
He's Jorge's friend. Jorge also from Utah.
All right. All right. Good to have you. Okay. Now
that's-
we know where the
that's my
microphone
list.
is going. Okay. All right. We have a lot to cover, so we're going to jump into it right away. Review of the Art of Benching series from last month. Bring us all up to date on what we did last month. I always tend to forget. Okay. Let's
You're the
play it.
channeler. You get to.
Oh, let's take a good deep breath together as we begin. I ask you to just feel in for a moment the magnitude of what this group is doing and what you're doing here also. This is the culmination. Eons of time, of the dreams of the Atlanteans, of the hopes of those who were there at the time of Yeshua, planting the Christ seed, now culminating right here in this beautiful time of the machines. A time when the planet really appears to be crazy, but it's just going through its changes. Take a deep breath and feel into why you're really here. The real reason is to simply bring consciousness to this planet. Let's start by talking about freedom. But there's more and more people on the planet right now that are starting to pursue freedom or sovereignty. That's a long, hard path. You know, it sounds so glorious. Freedom! But then all of a sudden, it means I got to take it, all the responsibility for everything. Lack of abundance, health, bad childhood, whatever it is. Freedom is taking responsibility. Let's talk about America for a moment. I was deeply involved in it. Europe was in transition at the time. This was the 1700s. There was still a lot of the old royal energy. There was a lot of the kingdoms. I traveled. I spent a lot of time talking to the royals, the kings and the queens, and as well as the politicians, philosophers, and the leaders of the time, the scientists, and saying there's a change going on. And basically, what this change is going to be more freedom, more equity. It's got to be a democratic way for this planet, for society and culture to evolve. But to my great surprise, the peasants really didn't want the change. They thought about it. They knew that they wanted something different, but they were actually kind of comfortable being told what to do, how to run their lives. I realized that Europe probably wasn't going to change. Or if it did, it was going to take hundreds of years, and I didn't have the patience for it. So, working with others, I said, let's set up then the new world, a place of the freedom experiment, a place where people from all around the world, no matter what culture, no matter what race or religion could come, we'll throw them all in the same pot and see what the hell happens. This was designed as a place for people to come for their freedom, and to this day, you're still seeing it. There's probably more freedom, arguably, some of you, more freedom than anywhere. Do humans really want freedom? I think they're very confused about it. I think, yes, there are some who definitely understand it, and you almost can't turn back now. Once you start on the true freedom path, you almost can't turn back because you realize at your core, in your heart, you are a true sovereign soul, a sovereign being. Let's talk a little bit about overhead consciousness and meaning the big picture, what's really going on the planet. One I've talked about before is this old consciousness of suffering. I'm really sick and tired of suffering on this planet. But yet humans have just accepted it. It's the way of being. You have to suffer. The very work that we're doing with the light is changing suffering to joy, but there's a lot who are still holding on to it. They think, they believe, and they continue to act out that we got to suffer our way up the hill, got to suffer our way through life, and you don't. The economy is another one. And I don't want to get into economics, but the movement of financial energies. And people are so sure that some have it, others don't, that they're never going to have enough, that there is a conspiracy, that it's the bank or it's the Federal Reserve. Shut up. It is just the movement of energy. That's all it is. And everyone's entitled to all they want. That's the overhead consciousness. Everybody can have it, but you can't blame others when you don't. You can only blame yourself. You can only say, I'm not allowing abundance into my life. The other one is biology. The human body. People just accept, well, I'm a human. This is me. They identify with a body. They identify with a carbon-based reality. Well, that's total bullshit. Yeah, it's like you took it on, but you can also get out anytime you want. Or have an overhead consciousness of compatibility with this carbon-based system that you have. It's really not yours anyway, but you're inhabiting it so you can have a little bit of harmony and bring in the light body. These are the big picture things. People tend to focus on kind of the little stuff. They don't understand the real energy flows, what's really happening in their own life, much less the planet. It's pretty easy actually to rise above that and go beyond even just what the mind is thinking into overhead consciousness, the bigger picture. What's really happening on the planet? Let's take a deep breath for the very reason you're here on the planet, to bring that light that will affect change. And then it's up to the humans how they want to use it. But at least you did what you came here to do, shine that light. That's why you're here. And in staying here, and in us going forward into our next series, there's certain rights you have as a master, certain rights that I would like you to acknowledge: the right to abundance, the right to joy, the right to health, the right to be able to create and then uncreate, the right to know thyself and thy soul, the right to laugh, the right to turn everything over to wisdom whenever you choose to, the right to remember who you are, the right to leave the planet whenever you choose how you choose the death, the right to clarity. You have the right to clarity, to easily understand and assimilate anything, any energy situation in your life, the right to clarity. You have the right to have your energy serve you however you want. These are some of the basic rights as a master, as an embodied master, to stay on the planet. I just noticed, first time, it never struck me before, but how often Adamus is drinking the coffee. I started counting, and I thought, we should play a game here. Every time Adamus has a drink, we all take a shot of tequila.
What about every time he uses a swear word?
And every time he uses a swear word, you have to, what would we do? 2 shots. Yeah. But, back in the day, Bob Newhart show, if you're over 60, you remember, we used to play the game every time they said Bob, you'd have to do a shot, and you never got through the program, but it was, now I can watch the reruns like I'd never watched them before, which is amazing. Anyway,
Okay.
we're gonna now go through the upcoming events. We got a whole series of things coming up next weekend.
This very next weekend is Kasama
Kasama Online, it's the first time we're doing it.
online.
Online. We've done it a number of times as a live workshop. I love Kasama for many reasons, but one of them is that it's such a beautiful, clear, and simple explanation of the soul.
Absolutely.
I actually wrote about it in my article. Is there anybody that reads the articles?
Actually, the article about Kasama was so clear in explaining what it is that Adamus helps us to feel into, and like you said, the word's thrown around all the time, but what does it really mean? How does it really impact you, and what can you do with it?
And for me, it provided such clarity, but also he goes through the experience of really connecting back with the soul.
Right.
So it's a great description, and we're really looking forward to it.
I think Mary Sue was at the one on Hawaii.
I think there are a number here that we're at some
The
of the
Kasama
live
on Hawaii?
Kasama events.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
quite a few.
there,
Yeah,
see?
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's about the physics of the soul, no more suffering, which Adamus is kind of on that kick right now. And total of 8 sessions. That'll be next weekend, starting the 19th of August. Is that right? That's not right. It's 2 weeks from now. Gene is cueing me 2 weeks from now. All right, I'm a little messed up, but it's the heat. It's the heat. 2 weeks from now, the 19th through the 21st. All right. I don't always trust the slides, and I do the slides, which is really sad. So we're going to take a look at the Kasama trailer right now. Kasama basically means your soul's destiny. And destiny, not like it's written out, not like it's a script that you have to follow. But destiny meaning that at some point that you start flowing again with your soul. Kasama is in flow with your soul, in harmony with your soul, with a grace. And good Lord, you need grace. You deserve grace right now for the rest of your life here on the planet. Grace, being in the flow. Everything just comes to you. Life is easy. You're not struggling anymore. Grace. That's when the master allows energy to serve them. That is true grace. The opposite of kasama is suffering. Suffering is useless. It's a waste of time and energy. It doesn't get you any closer to God or your soul or anything else. But yet, humans have taken this on. The reason why I mention it and why I insist that we talk about it here is that it's the antithesis of kasama. And you can't go into kasama if you still believe in suffering, if you're still accepting suffering in your life. Let's begin by saying what created the soul. Well, it was that compassion of the I am. The I am just loved itself and just wanted to continue to feel into itself over and over again. And therefore, in its deep love for itself and desire to feel itself, it created the soul. And it's like the beams of light went out from the I am, and those beams then gathered together and created the soul. And the soul then becomes the vessel for the experience and for all the other things of the soul that eventually the I am feels and rejoices in every moment, no matter what, every moment. Let's take a deep breath with the beauty of your soul. This is you. It's yours. Nobody can ever take it away. Nobody can harm it unless you like to perceive that they are. The soul is infinite. It is forever. It is always in the now, always. And the now is always, always, always. The soul is you. It can never be separated from you. You could turn your back on it. You can pretend you're lost and lonely and nobody cares for you, but the soul is always there. It's just waiting for you to turn back towards it. To acknowledge that it is you and to acknowledge that it's not there. It's right here. You can't get there from there. But you can get there from here. Let's do that now. You see, every time you do something, even if you do nothing, the soul rejoices. And it gives forth the energy for the experience to become real. It always is giving forth the potentials for whatever you choose, even if you choose nothing, even if you choose just to sit there and do nothing. It's one of the potentials. Or you choose to be grand. There's a lot of grand potentials in there. Take a moment right now to feel into the rejoicing of the soul as we're here in Kasama, as you're here. Not there, but here. And feel the rejoicing of the soul.
Did you all fall asleep?
So that is August 19th through the 21st, 2 weeks from now. I had to talk to myself and got myself straight, though, 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
The problem is, Linda and I were driving down today. We were talking about our schedule, and I said, boy, it's a busy week, and then we do Kasama next weekend, and da-da-da. It's like, no, we don't. We have the weekend off. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, Kasama, Destiny of Your Soul, coming up as the first time as a cloud class.
First time.
First time. Okay. Let's take a look at what else is coming up on the schedule.
By the way, I like Asama because it's very, very nice material that really opens you up to the soul thing, and it's not a kick your butt thing or you're stupid.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
really supportive.
Just a quick reminder that there is no Shoud next month in September. because we take off, and we're also preparing for the Dream of the Merlin event, which is coming up shortly after that. So no shout next month. If you show up here, nobody here.
But somebody might call the cops, so don't do it.
Yeah. And speaking of Dream of the Merlin, that event is coming up. We're kind of getting into high gear now,
We are.
preparing for it, and we say time to get out your wizard hat and your magic wand, and tune in for 2 days of the Dream of the Merlin. Kind of the whole Merlin thing started, I forgot what, 7 years ago, I think, in Romania.
At
when
least.
Adamus said, he wants to do an annual event. So we were in Romania a number of times, Bled, Slovenia, and then suddenly COVID. So we started doing it online and found out that a lot more people could tune in and watch it. So we have that coming up. There's going to be...
Oh, and wait. You people have really impacted what we're doing. And I want you to know that it's affected this workshop. So every time we try to show you something else or, something a little different, we got that, we don't want that. We just want the channeling. So now that's all it is.
Just the channeling. Damn it, that's all you get now. Eat everything on your plate. You asked for it. Going to feature, of course, Adamus and Nikola Tesla. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a very interesting one. I haven't had any contact with him so far, but I'm sure by then I will. Kathumi Lal Singh, which he's kind of a favorite.
Character,
Merlin, of course. It's the Dream of the Merlin, so Merlin's got to be there. We're going to hear from Sam. What's been going on in Sam's life? It's been a couple of
Long
years,
time.
I think, since we've had an update. I know it was pre-COVID.
Yeah,
Since we
definitely.
heard
It was in Europe
anything.
the last time we heard anything.
And, of course, the beloved Saint Germain. So that's kind of the lineup for it. We're also going to have our annual Inspire Consciousness Award. We're going to talk a bit about Adamus's, I don't know what else to call it, semi-retirement, the shift that's taking place. I'll talk to you a little bit about what's happening within Crimson Circle, and we're going to be talking about the Rude Awakening film debut, which is happening. So look forward to all that. It's September 10th through the 11th. You get 90 days access to all the files on the internet, and it's an awesome gathering, even though it's just online. But we had such fun with it last year.
Well, and it's like 60 different countries. It's really cool to
Yeah.
see everybody the energies all kind of merge, but, from everywhere.
Then shortly after that, we head off to Kona, Hawaii, to Villa Amio. We're going to be doing time traveling with Adamus. I think it would be the second time doing it. But
think so.
Third. I'm just a channeler. Thank you. The third time doing it. I love the class. It's very interdimensional. First time doing Staying in Grace. Anybody object to that? First time
And we
Staying
didn't
in
mention
Grace.
any of these Kona events. Remember that we deliberately keep those events very, very small and intimate, so that you have a really lot of opportunity to be close and interacting with the energies of Adamus. We limit it to like 36 attendees, so it's really.
And somebody asked why we use the Black Swan graphic on that, or what that means. And Black Swan is kind of it means it's an anomaly, something different, unpredicted, unexpected. Everything's a white swan. Every once in a while, a black swan comes up. So, like in the business world, something that comes along that's just totally changes, game changer, is called a black swan. That's why it's on.
Jeff, it's sold out. Why are you still talking about
I'm not. I just went on to the next slide. Masters in Communications, November 21 through 25, again in Kona. Still some spaces open on that. And then, end of the year, we're going to be doing Sexual Energy School on the 9th through the 11th of December. Back here, it's going to be cold. Jeez, wow. Don't need to
Without
say,
the dog.
Yeah, without our dog. Don't need to say too much about it, because it's a core Crimson Circle class. And
The only thing required for live audience
yeah,
events.
we've been doing it for years and years, and I think it's kind of a staple for Shambra to have taken SES. It's about your energy management.
How many people here have taken SES? Yeah.
I think you should ask how many haven't.
No, I don't want to make
And then we
anybody.
can get their pictures. And
I knew better than to do that. I don't want to embarrass anybody.
Just as a heads up, we're doing our annual Christmas party on December 17th right here at the studio. complete with good food, drinks, fun, music, everything else. Make
Is
sure
Adamus
to
going to be there?
make sure to sign up for the party or the shout. Yeah, I think they have a better party at the Ascended Masters Club. So make sure to sign up early. There's always people are disappointed. Oh, I meant to sign up and then I didn't get in, and it's like cry. Okay, let's take a look at. Well, no, I feel bad for him. Let's take a look at the. I can't even believe that year up there is 2023.
I know. I
mean,
know.
It's scary. I mean, and this isn't the future. I mean, it is, but
Jeff,
it's
young people
right around
aren't
the corner.
afraid of it.
I couldn't have imagined. Back when I was 10 years old, if you said 2023, I thought, oh, there is no way. I mean, wow. But here we are. Whew. Okay, 2023. We once again have time traveling with Adamus coming up in February 19th through the 23rd, and then another Masters in Communication. These were just announced. Registration actually doesn't begin until August 15th, unless you're an angel, then you get a first shot at it. But,
At anything.
and then we have a brand new one called Master's Circle. It's
Brand new.
brand new. And what this is literally we can't tell you what it is, because Adamus is going to take the energy of that group without any pre-formatted anything, and then address specifically that group. A lot of interaction, and truly a master's circle.
Well, we decided it was too much. It's too hard to name stuff, and it's
Yeah. I always like the mystery school, because we could just say, oh, it's a mystery. We don't know what we're going to do, but
But again, well, we feel pretty comfortable doing this, particularly on Kona, because it's always small events, so it's very much easier to let Adamus work with the energies in the room and allow whatever it needs to be. And things are changing so fast that it's challenging to predict necessarily where it might go.
And then we've got Staying in Grace towards the end of April. And after that, May, another Master Circle.
You didn't get to talk about your Black Swan.
I did. I just talked about it.
No, you did it when it wasn't done. Now it's an event. The other one was sold out.
No, but it's the same event. It's a Black Swan. It's such a tough day today.
I need some fucking
Carrie,
humor.
could I have a drink? No, I don't solve my problems by drinking. I create more problems by drinking, but anyway. Now it's time for the Shambra News. All the news that's fit to print, that's fit for masters. And we got.
Do we have to be serious now?
Yeah, you have to be serious. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's get right into it. First and foremost, make sure to check out the Shambra magazine. It's read by gurus and scoundrels everywhere. I love the graphic this month. It's not really sure what that is. Looks like some people I know up in the mountains. But anyway, this is where all the workshops are listed. There's great articles, all the information. We do not like sending out emails like once every day or even once a week. We don't want to pester you. We know you've got a lot of benching to do. So we just compile it all together in a beautiful magazine.
Oh, and you can always
called-
go online and look at it, and
Yeah.
it's the most up to date.
And great articles. So check it out. Now we come to that moment, Rude Awakening. Everybody's familiar with that beautiful movie that really is the brainchild of that great group that we have over in Netherlands that's been working on it for quite a while. And they've had their experience along the way putting the movie together, and then COVID hit, and one problem after the other. It is finally ready for the Shambra worldwide premiere, which we're calling the Crimson Carpet premiere, online launch, October 15th. Jonathan Cray, Sandra Rogerman, George Andrada have all been working hard on it. We've been working hard, very carefully with them, closely with them over the last few months, and we know for certain it's going to be coming out. So I'm especially excited. It's the Shambra story. I mean, it's an amazing story.
It literally birthed from Jonathan being on at one of our Hawaii events and
Right.
being very interested in and excited about Shambhala. And he said, "Can I take pictures while I'm there?"
Yeah.
And then at some point along the way of the visits, we went to dinner with him, and that's when he started talking about this Shambhala journey, and that's what birthed Root Awakening as
It's
his
evolved
concept.
along the way,
Truly.
many iterations. But so we're going to have a premiere package. It's going to be one day, October 15th, and you won't be able to get it afterwards. It's only October 15th. Included in it, of course, is the full showing of Root Awakening. It's going to be somewhere between maybe 90 to 120 minutes long. You've seen some of the trailers. Beautiful, creative production. I mean, it's amazing, and it's our story. So in the package is going to be behind the scenes things that they shot, kind of funny, humorous things. We're going to be having an interview with the team. We're going to be in Kona, Linda and I and our production crew. They're going to be in Amsterdam. We're going to be doing it online. They actually tried to get to Kona, but it was almost impossible. So we're going to be doing it from 2 locations. We're going to hear from Adamus about the energy behind the film. You will get a certificate that you can download that says, "I was the first to view this." And then if you sign up by September 15th, you will also get your name and the credits. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, the credits
Permanently.
go by, you're like, "Look, Mom, there's my name."
Right, permanently in the movie credits.
But in the movie credits, yeah.
Yeah.
And we say it has to be by September 15th because it takes a lot of work to get everything organized. But if you do it by September 15th, you get your name in the credits.
So if the movie happens to get famous, you could be too.
Yeah, you'll have 3 days access to the actual Rude Awakening film. We have to limit the access for a variety of reasons, but you'll have 90 days for all the rest of the materials to view them. There'll be 3 sessions from Kona and Amsterdam, so it'll be an early start for us in Kona, but the first session is going to be talking about how the film came into being, what it means in terms of Shambhala and our journey. The second segment is the actual film. The third segment will be an Adamus kind of a session, some of the behind the scenes, some of the outtakes, and some of the interviews that, another part of the package is interviews that didn't get into the final film, but they filmed and interviewed a lot of Shambhala all over the world. And obviously you couldn't put everything in, but you'll have access to those as well. As I mentioned, one time only. It's only going to play on October 15th. You can't come after that and sign up. It's one time. It's $144, which the subscription, you get quite a bit for it, but ultimately it really helps launch this film. The amount of money that has to go into it, and the next step after we do the Crimson carpet launch, the next step is into marketing, and that's a tough one.
Right.
So your signing up for this really, really helps get that film out, get the energy of Shambhala out to the world. So I am so excited about it. And also, just so you know, Crimson Circle doesn't make any money off of this. All the funds go back to
Directly
Root
to them.
Awakening. So we're just handling the mechanics of helping them do it. So I think we're going to take a look right now at what Adamus had to say a week or so ago about the film, Root Awakening. I am that I am, Adamus of Saint Germain. Welcome, everybody, to this special gathering of Shambhala from all around the world. And speaking of special gatherings, I called a gathering at the Ascended Masters Club last night. Of all Ascended Masters, now, this is no small task because there are now just about 11,000 Ascended Masters. But we gathered shortly after dinner last night. We gathered around and I made a statement to them. I said to each and every Ascended Master, mark your calendar. Mark your calendar. And yes, we do kind of use calendars in the Ascended Masters Club. They're kind of, you could say, multi-dimensional calendars, not just 2 dimensions like yours, but they incorporate all the elements of time and space. So, but they're still a calendar because we still have a lot to do. So I said, mark your calendars for October 15th, 2022. A hush went over the room, and you could tell they were all curious about why I'm asking them to mark their calendars. So I explained, on October 15th, 2022, we're going to be watching a movie together up here in the Ascended Masters Club. We're going to be watching a movie that's been in the making for hundreds of thousands of years, but more specifically, really in the last few years. It's a movie that I've been actively involved in, energetically, a movie about my group that I'm working with, a movie about Shaumbra. Once again, the room was silent. You could almost hear a pin drop. I said, yes, this is a movie. It's got an interesting title. It's called Rude Awakening. At that point, throughout the room, you could hear oohs and ahs and moans and groans because every ascended master could relate to this rude awakening concept. And I said, we're going to be watching it here up at the Ascended Masters Club as it makes its Shaumbra launch on Earth, on the planet. And it's going to be broadcast from a place I frequently visit, Kona, Hawaii, also from Amsterdam. It's going to be a global Shaumbra launch of this movie that contains the energies of the journey of Shaumbra, the story of Shaumbra, and what a story it is. This movie is a condensation, an energy compression of the story of Shaumbra, what they've gone through from the times of Atlantis, what they've gone through in the times of Yeshua, the mystery schools, and now into this lifetime where realization is being realized. And again, the Ascended Masters sat there speechless, wondering. And I continued on and I said, it's not been an easy journey. It's not an easy story, but it's time that this story was told in a storyteller's kind of way. It's not a literal documentary of every little thing that's happened, but their entire story of Shaumbra is contained within this rude awakening film. And it's time for Shaumbra, it's time for humans on the planet who are going into their realization to tell their story, to share it. And there's many different ways to do it. You can do it on a blog. And for those of you who've been here at the Ascended Masters Club for a long time, a blog is a type of, it's a type of journal, but they put it online. I don't have time to explain online to some of you old timers here, but it's a way of reaching out to everybody. And this story is going to be in a movie format. And the story, the important thing about it is that it consolidates all the energies of this incredible journey from coming to Earth in the first place, all the lifetimes, and then the challenges of emerging out of the human condition and now into the truly divine human. I anticipate that on October 15th, you'll be here watching it. And of course, they all nodded their heads. And I said, of course, there's no charge to you. There will be to the humans on Earth because, you see, we don't deal with money up here, but they do. There's no charge to you to watch it. And for the humans that gather on Earth, the Shaumbra, it's not just about watching a film. It's not just about being entertained. It's going to be a time for them to put their energy into this film, infuse it. It is their film. It is their story. But now it's time for them to let their light shine into it and through it. So we're also calling for this gathering of humans on the planet of Shaumbra to be there for this Shaumbra-only launch of their story, their movie, their own rude awakening. So I anticipate that we're going to have almost 11,000 Ascended Masters sitting in the Ascended Masters Club with screens everywhere, viewing this epic production, viewing this story of Shaumbra, the story of coming to realization and staying on the planet, The story of all the ups and downs, the twists and turns, the heartaches, the wounds, and finally the emergence. So I invite each and every one of you, Shambra, to be part of this. Each and every one of you to not just view the film, but put your light into and through this film. Let it go out to the world with all of the scripts, of course, the scenes that are done, the interviews, but there are many, many encoded energies in this film. And when you participate, you're adding to that encoding. You're sharing your story, your passion, your wisdom. Be there on October 15th for Rude Awakening. Be there to do a few very important things to add your light and to infuse your wisdom. These will be then encoded in this film, Rude Awakening, for the future. With that, please join all the Ascended Masters and myself October 15th for a story and a movie that's all about you. The Rude Awakening. And with that, I am Adamus of Hollywood. Thank you.
Now you know.
Okay, well, I love the idea that we're going to be encoding this film, adding our energies to it. So we'd like to invite everybody to be part of that global launch on October 15th. You can find out more about it on the Crimson Circle website in the Crimson Circle store. So I'm so excited. I was getting goosebumps just listening to that.
Listening to yourself channeling Adamus?
Not listening to Adamus, but feeling the energies of Shambra. And I tell you one thing, there better be an Ascended Masters Club up there because he talks about it all the time. I mean, his whole storyline is based around being president of the Ascended Masters Club. You know, when I leave, there better be an Ascended Master Club with my name on the door in the titles.
Now you're sounding like somebody else.
Okay. Moving right along here, we had another wonderful thing we just launched earlier this week. It is Mark Twain's Checking into Heaven. It was actually part of the Time of the Merlin event last year, and we took that out. I mean, we
Extracted
it, thank you, and put it on in the Crimson Circle store free of charge, and also on YouTube. It was so touching, and really probably one of the most favorite things I've ever channeled. As I wrote in my article, the moment that I got on stage, usually with it's Adamus, it's all of us. It's you guys, it's me, it's Linda, it's Adamus. That was just all Mark Twain, and it just kind of took over in a beautiful way, and I love that channel.
And what's happened is it has to be probably one of the most incredible animations I've ever seen. And it was done so well. And, a lot of times people are always like, how do I explain, you guys? So if you want, this is a perfect thing to share with somebody, because even if they don't care about channeling, at the very least, it's an incredible interpretation of Mark Twain. So feel free to share it with anybody.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful story also. He talks about his life, and then in the kind of, as it makes the second half, he goes into Checking into Heaven, which was so fun to channel. And even, I hadn't watched it in a long time. It was really...
I was very amused.
And it was amusing and very, very clever. So, yeah, feel free to share this with Muggles even. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I think we're
it
gonna
was that charming.
Take a look at a short clip from Mark Twain's Checking into Heaven. Well, I finally made my way to heaven, and I got there, and it wasn't what I thought. There were no pearly gates. I was disappointed, but there was a sign right above the door, not very big, and said, "This is heaven." So I figured I was there. Who would lie about that anyway? And then I noticed there was a big, burly, hairy attendant behind the receptionist desk, a man. I cleared my throat to let him know I was there. Took several clearings, and he finally looked up in almost a state of disgust and said, "Could I help you?" I said, "Yes, I'm here to check in for eternity." He said, "Well, this is not a hotel. You don't check in here." I said, "Do you have an official invitation?" I'm starting to get a bit nervous here. Never heard of an invitation. I wondered if I had missed something in this whole funeral process. Maybe I should have gone to the priest beforehand and got a special invitation to heaven. And here I was without paperwork of any kind. And I said, "No, sir, I have no invitation, but I do believe I'm supposed to be at this place." I'd thought to myself, I'd heard that there was at least 2 popes and 10 lawyers that made it here, so certainly a great American writer can be in heaven. I had hopes anyway. And then this shirtless, hairy attendant, he said, "So what is your name?" I said, "Well, my name is Mark Twain." I was rather surprised he didn't know my name. Everybody on planet Earth did, and here this attendant had no idea. I said, "My name is Mark Twain." And he said, "Could you spell that, please?" That was so fun.
It was
amazing.
entertaining.
Yeah. Anyway, it's available free of charge in the Crimson Circle store. You can download it, or it's on YouTube.
How long is the full channel?
Full thing is about an hour. Well, you and I have a little intro into it, but the full thing is probably, an hour and 140.
Oh, it's that long?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
It doesn't seem that way because it goes by
I know.
really fast. And I particularly love the part once he gets to heaven, all the trials and tribulations, trying to get in. And I don't want to give away the storyline, but it was so funny. Wonderful. Checking into heaven.
Next.
We just released it earlier this week.
Yeah.
We had about 6,000 views already on YouTube. So, yeah, and some great comments.
So easy to share.
Yeah. All right. Next on the list is the Pronos 2022 update, meta realities. Let's take a quick look at that. I think we've got a little thing on it.
Let go of everything you thought you knew about the nature of reality. In the Pronost 2022 update, Adamus St. Germain talks about our current human reality and how it is changing before our eyes. What is reality? Most people believe it is what you perceive through your mind and human senses. As metaphysicians, we say that a reality is where you place your consciousness and then go in to explore and experience it. This metaphysical reality is malleable and personal. Your consciousness molds your own energy and therefore creates your individual reality. The realization that reality is changeable opens the door for new realities that are now beginning to emerge on planet Earth, a change that is long overdue. New realities include digital constructs or universes, says Adamus. Augmented and virtual reality may eventually lead the way to total digital reality, where it could be possible for someone to become digitized and then exist within these new virtual realities. It's not science fiction. It's not even quantum theory. It's where our planet is headed, and it's the reason you're here right now.
You didn't come here to be converted into a digital being. You came here to explore the vast realms of your consciousness. And that's the difference between you and most other humans.
Check out the new Pronost 2022 update. It's an essential discussion for metaphysicians and consciousness explorers everywhere.
Okay.
So I always love doing Pronost. It's kind of stressful getting ready for it because you never know what Adamus is going to come up with next. But the update is really an essential lesson in metaphysics. Just fascinating thinking about how we go into realities and looking where the planet is going. You know, with people going into digital realities and ultimately, potentially, a total digital being. Ooh. In summary, for the Pronost, it takes a look at where humanity is going to go right now with their consciousness, and ultimately where you're putting your consciousness right now. So I love it.
I came to some pretty clear conclusions after I had experienced it.
It's a little scary, but then it's pretty awesome also.
Well, it tells you how important it is to be who you are.
Exactly. Okay, and finally, it's available in the Crimson Circle store.
Yeah.
Finally, our spotlight of the month is Angels and Aliens. This was from a session we did in Warsaw, Poland in 2011. As a matter of fact, it was so popular that President Obama drove right by. We stood out in the road and waved to him, and it was kind of cool. Just happened to be a coincidence, not. It's very interesting. Adamus talks about how angelic groups in the past have interfered with Earth, the Nephilim, the Watchers, and others. We had the live music with late Hannibal Means as part of this. 15% off in August, so I think the price is like, I don't know, $36 or something.
It's audio
$34,
only.
yeah, okay. Audio only, and just as a heads up, there is the consecutive Polish translation. So it's Adamus talking, then you hear the Polish. If you don't know Polish, fine, you just feel into what Adamus just talked about.
And there's transcript.
Exactly, we're going to see a little recap right here. Right now, these entities, these aliens, are sending little signals back home.
I w tym momencie wszystkie te istoty, te sądy wysyłają sygnał z powrotem do swoich domów,
Something's happening on Earth.
że oto coś się wydarzyło na Ziemi.
We don't know how to define it or to quantify it.
Nie wiemy, jak to zdefiniować, jak to zmierzyć.
Some sort of shift that's taking place that we don't understand.
Nastąpiła jakaś zmiana, której nie jesteśmy w stanie zrozumieć.
Even these little robots that they send to Earth to probe and investigate are quite confused.
Wszystkie te roboty i sondy, które tutaj do tej pory wysyłali, zupełnie nie potrafią nic z tego zrozumieć.
Because the programming doesn't fit the programming from before.
Ponieważ ich oprogramowanie nie pasuje w ogóle do tego, co się tu teraz dzieje.
They're feeling a shift taking place right here in this room, right here in Warsaw.
Czują, że w tym pomieszczeniu, w Warszawie, zachodzi pewna zmiana.
Take a deep breath.
Weźcie z tym głęboki oddech.
The breath of your light.
Oddech waszego własnego światła.
Time is coming for you to go out to teach, to share, and to enlighten.
Czas, abyście zaczęli uczyć, dzielić się i oświecać innych.
It may be with other humans here on Earth.
Być może innych ludzi tu na Ziemi,
It may be teaching in the classrooms of the new Earth.
a może w szkole na Nowej Ziemi.
It may be going into some of the alien civilizations to help them understand what heart and love and compassion are.
A może w innych cywilizacjach, abyście mogli pomóc im zrozumieć, czym jest miłość, serce i współczucie.
It's time for your light to come out.
Czas, aby wasze światło było widoczne.
Okay, spotlight for the month, Angels and Aliens.
And by the way, Adamus doesn't like aliens at all.
No, he's not a real big fan of aliens. And it is 15% off for the month of August. With that, we want to extend our big thank you to all of the people who make this possible, to all
Always.
the website hosts, all the translators, the Crimson Circle staff, everybody who is part of this.
all
We
the
wanna thank
volunteers. I
them.
mean,
Unbelievable.
just amazing.
There's a list, the last 4 pages of the Chambre magazine, 4 pages of listings of everybody who's working behind the scenes to make this happen. So we want to thank you for that. Right now, it is time for our break. We're going to be back in 30 minutes. So wherever you are in the world, take a few good deep breaths, use the facilities, get something to eat, and we're going to come back to see what Adamus has up his sleeve today.
Oh boy.
All right. With that, thank you. We'll be right back.
Thank you, everyone.